Hello everyone, Richard Lewis back with another video. We're getting back to one of our favorite topics in this channel, the specter of gambling. Ooh. Ooh. That's Sam, by the way. I'm not a ventriloquist. Or I don't also have my... No, I'm not going to finish that joke. Let's keep it serious. So one of the sites that kind of caused the biggest brouhaha in the gambling space was, of course, CSGOWild. There was a variety of reasons for that. I think, first of all, there was all of the drama with them being associated with FaZe, and certainly we can say that FaZe didn't disclose the nature of their relationship. They did pretty much the same thing that Syndicate and T. Martin did, of course, without ownership, although that's never been proven one way or the other. I think on the evidence, we probably have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't know if we'll ever get into that one, but it was certainly non-disclosure issues. And then, of course, they really had a very disrespectful farewell at the end. They kind of just took the money, shut up shop, didn't really give people a particularly long amount of time to withdraw their skins, and then linked to, what's the name of that site, Sam, where...
I cry every time or something.
I cry every time. That was it. You know, for people who may have lost some skins. So I thought that was a little bit disrespectful, all things considered. That's before you even get into the whole regulatory issue of CSGOWild. Well, of course, they went away, and we were all very sad about that. They certainly seemed to think the community would be sad about it. But they tweeted something out the other day, Sam. And I'll let you bring this up on screen. They tweeted out saying, we'll be back very soon, stay tuned. And they put out a graphic saying coming soon, csgowild.com. And, you know, you can see there's people there saying you all better be very, very excited. The hype is real. You know, a few people having a few, you know, little digs at them. But, you know, there's a lot of people who enjoyed their time gambling on that site saying, you know, we're looking forward to having you back. And there's a lot of people wondering what the workaround is. And, of course, we've seen other gambling sites talk about how they're going to have a workaround. We've seen one or two. They've come back. They've gone down virtual currency routes. Some have gone down Bitcoin routes. Everyone's kind of scrambling, trying to figure out what the best and most profitable way to sustain a gambling site is actually going to be at the moment right now. And CSGOWild, well, they're not going to do that. So there was a chap on YouTube, a big shout out to him for doing this, a guy called Tanker, and doesn't have a lot of subscribers, 356 currently as I'm looking at his page, and he got access to the website, the brand new CSGOWild website. And I mean, I'm very surprised that this didn't really blow up in a big way. You can see, and again, you can just have this playing on in the background. He does talk over it. The audio is not great, the audio quality. But basically, he was able to gain access to the website and did a breakdown on everything you need to know. It's about 4 minutes and 33 seconds long. It shows all of the infrastructure of the website, how they're going to have age verification, how they're going to have real money betting on the site. And that's the key thing here. They're going to have the games that they had before. They're going to have like the roulette type thing they used to have. The coin flip as well is going to be back. So it's going to be much the same as it was before. The only difference is you're going to be able to deposit money through Visa and MasterCard credit cards, Skrill, Nutella, and so forth. And that's what was on the video of Tankers so far. I imagine they may want to add more in there. PayPal's unlikely to be added, isn't it, Sam? Because obviously PayPal have been quite vocal that they don't necessarily want their services used for this kind of thing and smaller transactions. So that'll be interesting to see there. And I imagine if you were running a business, you might not want PayPal anyway, because, you know, salty chargebacks may occur. So there you have it. Now, obviously, this video didn't reveal a lot. It didn't really go into the ins and outs, the legality. There is a Skype conversation later in that with the alleged new owner. So I've got to give Tanker full credit on this one. He's done a very thorough job, and if you want to show him some appreciation, I certainly recommend you do. His Twitter is Tanker CSGO. You can go and say hello and well done to him for the original find. Now, in the aftermath of that video coming out, obviously we did what we do on this channel, and we started to dig into things and utilize our incredible network of spies, much like Varys, another bald dude with no dick. We were able to find something. And what we did was we were able to basically get the FAQs, the privacy policy, and the terms of service of the new CSGOWild site. And obviously, we've had a look through these. So it's entirely up to you, Sam. You're the producer. What do you think we should give an overview of first?
I think the change of ownership is the biggest deal.
Oh, well, okay. So which page is that?
Right, hang on. Because on one of the pages, it actually gives you a date, I think, of when they were picked up.
Excellent work, Sam. Can tell you're very much in the driving seat on this one.
Yeah, you read the stuff, mate.
Yeah, I'm just a puppet that dances. Yeah.
Right, hang on.
That was me dancing like a puppet.
I guess the fact that it says they're never going to use real anything other than real money again is worth touching on.
Okay. Well, which page do I want to open for that?
Right. Go to not responsible gambling. Go to.
Is it the TOS? TOS. Yeah, I thought so. Right. Yeah. There you go. So, this is the TOS page, and you will see it says responsible gaming. Very, very big letters. And of course, this was missing not just from Wild, it's got to be said, from a lot of websites. And obviously, the idea of responsible gambling, very important. And gambling and gaming within the context of a casino website like this is, of course, the same thing. Gaming means gambling, gaming. Like Big C and Bagsy. You can see responsible gambling, esports GI, +5 Gaming Limited and +5 Gaming Limited are fully aware of their responsibility. Me and my mate and myself are fully aware of their responsibility towards their customers and players and take this responsible very seriously. Age control. The company does not allow underage persons under the age of 18 to participate in games for real money. For this reason, the company requests that players confirm that they are of legal age and give their date of birth upon registration. +5 Gaming Limited will undertake checks to ensure the age and identity of real money players. And if you want to take a little break away from this, obviously I can take you to the +5 Gaming website. And you can just see here who +5 Gaming are, because they are going to be continually referred to. So I think you've already got the link for that, Sam, but just in case. There it is. And if you go to the About Us page, it tells you who they are, and it's +5 Gaming is a UK-based white-label casino software provider with a Class 1 license from the LGA in Malta, offering companies and brands the most cost-effective way to enter the world of online gaming by providing a complete end-to-end white-label service. Our vision is to become the best white-label gaming company in the iGaming industry. This is a rapidly changing and competitive industry, no fucking shit. +5 Gaming presences from 2010 and our successful partners prove that our vision and values meet with the industry needs. And it says what it offers. And basically what this service offers is fully developed and tested gaming platform with a flexible solution that's dedicated to all kind of business all around the world. So obviously the software element of it, with the hashed numbers, and make sure it's all within the provably fair system, which we know is problematic, but, it is what it is. That's the law. Fully branded and customized gaming site using the best and most up-to-date software available in the gaming business. You'll see that I don't think Wild needed that. The solution that includes full payment processing, customer service, and further professional and dedicated assistance, and it explains the rest of their services there. So that's +5 Gaming as referred to. So back to this. In the age control, it says that +5 Gaming Limited will undertake checks to ensure the age and identity of real money players. And of course, this was another thing that wasn't happening. There weren't any spot checks occurring. There was just basically, even the sites that wanted age checks, generally it was a checkbox. And as we said, without really the spot checks and the requirement to have a verifiable ID there, a passport or whatever, before you cash out, people were effectively turning a blind eye and looking the other way. Also says, in addition, the company requests a copy of an official document, which includes a photograph and the date of birth before the first payout. Should the company establish in the course of the above-mentioned verification that a player is underage, all transactions recorded on this account will be reversed, regardless of whether games were won or lost. The player is barred from further players of immediate effect. So there you go. I don't think it would be possible to necessarily run up a debt, but they are saying there they will reverse all transactions. So if that puts them out of pocket or not, they'll do it. Rules of responsible gaming. The following rules should be strictly observed when playing. Take regular breaks from your games. Determine your daily and monthly betting limit in advance. These are the maximum amounts you are allowed to place bets for in the play for cash area. However, you may wish to define lower amounts as your personal limits. You can make those changes in the account details menu. Decreasing your limits will be of immediate effect. Increasing your limits will take 48 hours to be effective. So this is another key thing that you see on online gambling sites for anyone who's ever used them. I know you have, Sam. What's that monkey one you play on?
Oh, King Kong Cash, mate.
Classic. Yeah, you love it. Yeah, you love a bit of King Kong Cash, don't you?
Won 300 quid today, mate, playing blackjack alone in my bedroom. Big.
Yeah, big,
more
mate.
You ever made off these YouTube videos.
High rolling, mate. I won £300 alone in my bedroom. Brilliant, mate. Yeah. But what happens here is you have to input what your betting limit is on a lot of these sites. Certainly this is the case in the UK. And if you want to increase your limit after you've gone over it, you don't get it immediately. And this is obviously to stop you in the heat of the moment, increasing the allowance. I've got to win it back. You got to wait 2 days, and in 2 days that they deem 48 hours to be like a reasonable cooling off period. So that's obviously a good thing there. Remember, gambling is a form of entertainment, not a legitimate means of obtaining money. Decide beforehand how high your losses can be. Do not play under the influence of alcohol or medication, in a depressive mood, or when you are not fully rested and able to concentrate. Pretty much rules you out 24/7, Sam. You're
fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked, mate. After purchase, you will receive an email notification. We recommend the card holder to print out all the transaction data, the rules of the game, the cancellation regulations, and the payment methods in order to avoid misconceptions and discussions at a later time and keep them at an easily accessible place. Then it says, blocking the account, self-exclusion. If at any time you wish to stop gambling with Plus5 Gaming Limited, you may request to be self-excluded. Plus5 Gaming Limited offers you both a 72-hour cooling off period and a 6-month self-exclusion. So you can impose this cooling off period or a 6-month exclusion simply by ringing them up. So if you do have a problem and you have a moment of clarity, a moment of lucidity, you can ring up and say, look, I can't fucking stop myself. Please just ban me for 6 months. Obviously, there's some incredible trolling potential there, I think. We should do that at Josh Raven, mate. No more King Kong Cash for you.
Can't withdraw either.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking wreck. That'd be hilarious. Write that down. Mental note, right? But you can also do it via email. And I think we can see here, and I must mention this as well, contacting a counseling, therapy, or treatment institution. There are several links there to gambling sites. And also they say, hey, you've got any further questions, make it available. Now, look how professional that is in comparison to the shit that was served up on the previous iteration of the site, and indeed a lot of the gambling sites that came along. That is inarguably more responsible. And this is what I talk about when I talk about the importance of gambling being regulated. This is what regulated gambling looks like. Look, at the end of the day, the business needs you to lose money for them to make money. That's the nature of the transaction. But given the psychology behind gambling, it's got to be handled with a little bit of reverence and a little bit of respect. You can't just go at your customers and just fucking rinse them for every penny they're worth and encourage them to make bad life choices. That's not what responsible gambling looks like. And as a vice, it can be a terrible one, like any vice if you go too far. But there's very often safety checks put in place, one way or the other, for your vices. It's important that there are, because sometimes you may not act in your own best interests. Hey, Sam.
I mean, you're the one who lived in Vegas for months, mate.
Yeah, and I think we all know what my vice was. And we just leave it there. We just leave that. there. Which page would you like to go to next, Sam?
Oh God. FAQ, I guess, because the other two are just kind of bullshit pages that no one cares about.
Well, we'll bring them up anyway, just to show that we got them. Got them.
Goddy.
So, the FAQ, and this obviously does answer quite a lot of important questions. I'll pick out the most important ones. Let's start with where is your round hash to show the site is provably fair? Simply put, we don't need it anymore. We leverage a licensed gambling platform and random number generator to power our site. This means that all of the software we use to power our games is thoroughly checked and tested by regulators and certification authorities to ensure that it is fair for players. This system is more secure than using server and client seeds, as shown by the cheating scandals involving CSGO Diamonds and CSGO Shuffle.
Straight dropping names.
Straight dropping names. Not arsed, mate. And this is important because they are right. What is said there in that FAQ is absolutely on the money. Those systems, although they were in the parameters of provably fair, I think you could probably make a very solid argument that they were not within the regulatory requirements of most countries. And certainly CSGO Diamonds engaged in some dodgy practices. We've said enough about CSGO Shuffle on this channel. But basically it gives a little TLDR as well. If you own a site that uses provably fair technology, you can easily have a user provide you his client seed, which you can then pair with the server seed to see what results are coming up. This is a clear, easy way to cheat customers, and that's why we do not use it and why you shouldn't trust any site that does. Okay? Well, but I mean, apps are fucking lootly wrecked. And what's interesting here is, whatever you think about what's gone before, this is how Wild are going to corner the market. They're not going to corner it by cutting corners and doing anything in a dubious manner. They're going to do it by being legit and actually giving people that security and peace of mind. And this is what people should have been doing from the start. If people hadn't got greedy and stupid, they're all still making millions.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
How do you think they're going to coin this as CSGO, though? Are they going to have a way so you can like cash out to an affiliate program that sells skins?
Well, it's interesting. I think because obviously there is no skins betting on there, as we've already said. I think it might just be a branding thing. But they've been quite clear in continually referring it to it as Wild. Maybe it'll rebrand. Maybe they'll drop the CSGO. Maybe they'll be compelled to. Maybe they'll have to, because obviously Valve's stance on gaming, even though these guys aren't using the API or doing anything wrong anymore, or anything Valve might disapprove of, they may not want their brand associated with gambling anyway. So who knows? Anyway, so I'll just power through the rest of the FAQs. We're not interested in the payouts. Not interested in the support. Talks about the rules of the game. Talks about who can play. We've established that you've got to be over 18 years old, registered member of +5 Gaming Limited. So obviously, like I say, this is a partnership that's going on. A little bit more about who +5 Gaming Limited are. We've already looked at that. How much do the games cost? And it says, the complete range of games offered can be viewed free of charge. The only costs which may arise are the standard charges of your internet service provider. You can play all games in play for fun mode for an unlimited amount, i.e. house money, to test it, and for free without any additional costs. You have to register and create a player account to play for real money. Talks about the registration and login process, all par for the course of any website. Deposit, play, and payouts. Talks about how do I deposit cash into my account. So again, confirmation of the cash thing. And it says after login, set deposit, blah, blah, blah. That's how you do it. Is there a limit on how much money I can deposit? Now, this is interesting because the default deposit limits are 200 a day and 1,000 a month. And if you want to raise those limits, you must contact customer support directly and change them. So this is another barrier towards, let's say you're a clever kid. Let's say you've got a deep voice. Your balls have dropped down to your fucking knees, and hello, mate, right?
A fake ID.
Yeah, you've got a fake ID, or you're using your dad's or something. You think you've got it all nailed. Well, now again, you're going to have to contact customer support. They're probably going to ask you some questions to alter limits and stuff. So they're being literally as secure as they potentially can.
And interestingly, you can't change the betting limits, apparently. And that's $5,000 a month, and although that's a lot of money compared to what the CS:GO streamers were gambling, that was a fucking hour for some of us.
Exactly. And yeah, that was going to be my next point. That the default betting limits are 1,000 a day, 5,000 a month. These are the maximum total bets you are allowed to place bets on. You can lower these limits, but and it says you can raise these limits up to the default settings, and you've got to contact customer support again if you want to raise your limit beyond the default settings. So again, it's possible, but it's all going to go through customer support. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to be checking up, making sure it's all legit. So again, it seems to be a much more responsible, controlled environment. Payouts, I suppose we can talk about that. Again, you just withdraw it. There's going to be like an e-wallet there. The minimum payout has to be £20 or €20, depending on where you are. And you can only get payouts once a week, 3 times per calendar month, unless otherwise arranged. So again, I imagine there's special dispensations for people. And you will see from all of these bank details, including asking what is a BIC Swift code, what is an IBAN, how do I find my bank account, it goes straight to your bank account. No PayPals, no third parties. They will pay you out to your bank. So once again, that's actually another barrier to any bullshit. It goes into a bank. The name on the bank account has to match the name on the passport. This is how you create a hermetically sealed and secure gambling environment. This is interesting as well. What is a wagering requirement? And I'll be honest, even though I've done a lot about this whole gambling shenanigans, not a term I'd come across until I looked at this.
I know it, mate.
I've
seen that many a time.
Really?
It's usually referenced into like bonuses. So like you see it like deposit 20 now and get 20 free. So basically the extra 20 you get has a wagering requirement. So if that £20 has a 20 times wagering requirement, that means you have to win £400 until you can withdraw that money. So basically, it's a way to get fucked on bonuses.
Well, at least they're outlining it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it does outline it there. If it gives a few examples of the maths, but I think you've explained it pretty well, Sam. Well done. But yeah, I never even really thought about that.
Yeah, because you're a degenerate, mate, you come across it.
Yeah, no, it's not even so much about being a degenerate. I've done a lot of sports betting, and I've done some poker. But that's about it, really. And when I've used bonuses, I've either lost it all, or I've got a sizable payout and it hasn't really come up or been relevant. So, and I think I've only had sign-up bonuses. And I don't think they've ever had. Yeah. I see the emails all the time, like "Come back, Dick Whittington, come back, turn back, gamble with us." But I just never do because I'm busy doing other shit, living the dream.
Always get me.
And again, even in the FAQs. I think I'm addicted to gambling. More information about that. Further questions, yada, yada, yada. So we'll just take a quick look at the other 2 pages while we're here, and then we'll sort of give you a wrap-up of where it's coming from, because there have been some changes to the hierarchical structure. And whether that's because of the whole phase brouhaha or not, I don't know. But let's just see. So the privacy stuff, yeah, it's not super interesting. It basically... Yeah, we can just rattle through it. It's got a privacy statement. Esports GI is a white label gaming site owned by Plus5. Established that. Plus5 Gaming aims to work actively towards enhancing trust and data protection. So it's got a data protection agreement here, and you're able to move around a website freely without transmitting any information or data. This applies also when playing on your mobile phone, blah, blah, blah. So what they'll collect is when you're on the site, surname, first name, date of birth, the ID that we talked about, which is called a confirmation. For the depositing funds, you will need to give a name, surname, residential address, name of the credit card company, your credit card number, your CVC code, expiration date of the credit card, pretty much standard for any online transactions. And if you wish to transfer your winnings into your bank account, again, you've got to give them name, surname, bank account, IBAN, SWIFT, account number, and sort code. It says here that for the personal data, it's stored in a company database. You agree that they can use personal information provided by you in order to conduct appropriate anti-fraud checks. So when you submit your information, there is a tacit agreement that they may look into you and check for fraud. Which again, very important, especially online gambling, especially in our space and industry. Personal information that you provide may be disclosed to a credit reference or fraud prevention agency, which may keep a record of that information. For security reasons, with the exception of the point above, your personal data will not be passed on to any third parties in any form whatsoever as a matter of principle, unless, of course, you give us permission to do so. Uh, the underage thing, suppose we'll point to prevention of participation by underage persons. The company reserves the right not to allow underage persons to take part in games for real money. For this reason, the company requests that players confirm that they are of legal age, give their date of birth. So again, just a reiteration of everything we know. And there you go. And it tells you how to close your account, security measures, how the data is encrypted, and everything else. So this is, again, it's a bang. Got to give them credit. It's a bang up job. And then the final page, I suppose we can just open here. Good old terms, and it's just literally a glossary. Kind of explains everything. So a little bit dry. No point in really reading this, but the liability, data processing, all of that stuff there, and pretty dull. But they've got to cover themselves. It's basically all the legal bump there. So again, got to say that from what we saw, looks pretty legit, and certainly it would be hard pushed for me. I'd be a hypocrite if I was to then say, yeah, but gambling's bad, because I don't think that. I think legit regulated gambling is fine, and they've clearly taken steps to improve, so I've got to give them credit for that. The fact that they were a shower of cunts before, on the other hand, now it's a choice about whether or not you want to give them your business based on past behaviors. That's up to you. That's your right as a consumer to make that. I'd be mindful of wanting to necessarily line these guys' pockets because they were a bunch of fucking degenerate assholes. So, you decide. But I did notice as well, there was a part of the website when we were sort of breaking it down, and it mentioned some other companies. I haven't really looked into them yet. It says it's powered by the Ali Quantum platform and Rush B Games, operated under the following license, regulated by MGA, the Malta Gaming Authority. So we saw Malta referenced earlier. Looks like they're going to be registered in Malta now instead of Antigua. And that's very interesting because, we know how hard it is to get documents from Antigua. And we've seen all the drama that unfolded with that it looked like actually a bit of a dodge that they did it there, that they chose that place deliberately so they could obfuscate what was going on with their business. But it looks like they're going to be registered in MGA now as part of this new partnership. And just while we're at this juncture, probably worth mentioning the Malta Gaming Authority. As you can see from their website, they're pretty fucking legit. I mean, Malta is one of those geographical locations where you will find a lot of betting companies, and they've got everything on their site, all the kind of rules, regulations, all the things they're involved in, from amusement machines to cruise casinos. They handle quite a lot. So for them to be involved in any form of online gambling really is a stamp of approval in and of itself. And I think it's worth pointing out the guy who's going to be designing the site. Now, this is a chap called Gavin Weeks. And he describes himself on Twitter as an entrepreneur, creative dev, creator and CEO of Esportsify. So some people might know that company. And on top of that, founder of Rush B Games. So some people will probably have heard of that also. But if you're into the whole skins thing, this is the guy that was the founder and owner of Skin Sanity. So he has got a background in skins, and he described himself, it was the dev, wasn't it? I think. Did he say he's just a development lead on this? Yeah. So the level of his involvement, we don't know. I imagine that this could be whether or not Gagey and whatnot are still involved. Who knows? So that's Gavin Weeks, and with his involvement in Skin Sanity and everything else that he's done, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if he's come in and put an investment in it, whether he's been paid to develop it, whether Gagey, etc., still the owners. Like I say, it's all obfuscated. I guess we'll know more when they make their official announcement. But given their past, I sort of did want to steal their thunder a little bit and have a look and a poke around. And I guess the disappointing news, if you were looking for a scandal, is there isn't one. It looks like they've actually done what they should have done in the first place and regulate it up and put responsible gambling in place. This is going to be legal. It's going to be cash. It's going to be 18 plus. As Sam said, I don't know how it's going to link to CSGO anymore outside of the in-game symbols. Whether or not they'll be able to continue using that as a piece of intellectual property, I don't know. But certainly the days of skins betting on Wild are done. And it's either a step backward if you're into that kind of thing, or if you're into gambling and it being done properly, a step forward. So there you are. That's the big secret. That's what Wild are going to reveal in a few days. I don't really think there's much more to add, Sam.
Oh, that's about it, man.
All right, then. Well, great job. Great job, Sam. Great job, me. And thanks a lot for watching the video. See you on the next one.